All right. Welcome, everybody. It is Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, May 4th. Going to get right into it. Futures gapping down a little bit right now on the S&P, down 0.3%. Kind of pulling back to the levels where we opened the day on Friday. So, right at that 568 level. Really, we had resistance at 567, 5670. Wouldn't surprise me to see a little bit of a pullback tomorrow to that 5670 area, 567, and then bounce off of that when it comes to the S&P futures. We had a pretty hot day Thursday and Friday. Well, not pretty, actually very hot day Thursday and Friday in the indexes. So wouldn't shock me, get a little bit of a pullback and then right back to, again, that 567 area and then start to lift off of that. Probably in the morning, gap down, and then we'll rejoin the trend at the end of the day. So just recapping the week, we're all the way back from all the bedwetters and all the crybabies and all the boomers saying sell, 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 back to tariff day. Now, if you were here the Sunday night before tariffs, that was the first night of the lives. It was an epic rant. It was the first live, and I kind of went a little off the rails, those that you were here. But what did I say? I said tariffs are a good thing, both for the economy and the market, and anyone that sells any. Now, this is long-term holdings. We're not talking day trading and swing trade here. But anyone that was such a coward, lacking any intestinal fortitude, any belief in the greatness of America, that would have sold in April, you got what you deserve. Because here we are, all the way back from the tariff market crash. And I told you the night before, well, 2 nights before, we were live Sunday night, if I recall, tariff day was Tuesday. And I was like, no way. This is bullish America. This is bullish the markets. And if anything, add to the dip. But hey, it's all recorded. So when people are like, hey, you said this, just go back to the Sunday night market brief from 4 weeks ago. It's all recorded, man. It's all there. So anyway, S&P 500 up 2.81% on the week. Amazing week. Dow up 2.5% on the week. And then the NASDAQ up 3.6% on the week, driven a lot by the earnings. Microsoft and Meta crushed it. I actually did a piece for Benzinga last week. I don't know if it's been published yet, but, Benzinga reached out to me and asked about, some of my kind of longer term type ideas. And this was last week, pre-earnings, mind you. Microsoft and Meta were on there. I don't know when that gets published. It might get published tomorrow. But anyway, killer earnings from Microsoft and Meta, crushing it across the board. Positive economic indicators, including killer jobs report with a million native born Americans added to the employment rolls, by the way. Again, bullish America. Amazing to see the jobs report just completely flip in this last 100 days. Going to be better for the economy. Again, I've talked about this every week. More money in Americans' pockets means more money in the market, which means more trading opportunities. So we're going to continue to see more and more Americans with more money in their pocket. Tax cuts are coming because of the tariffs. The tariff offs are going to be used to offset taxes. So for those of you under 200,000, you're going to see a massive tax cut. Congrats to you. Unfortunately, tax cuts under 200,000 won't help me, but it'll help a lot of working class people, a lot of, everyday Americans put more money in their pockets. That's going to flow into the market. So you're gonna have more jobs, better paying jobs, and lower taxes, plus a significant majority of the products you buy are going to be built in America or built and manufactured in America. Talk about the absolute golden age. Only 100 days in, by the way, which is shocking. So market's resilience is evident, but remember, all of this, if you kind of ignore the kind of mainstream approach, like if you just ignore the mainstream media, or even better, do the exact opposite. Do the exact opposite of what all the mainstream media does, and you'll do well. Like think about, all of you remember what everybody in the mainstream financial media was saying all of April, and they were wrong about everything, like literally everything. They were calling market crash every day. They were talking, less jobs, less opportunities for Americans. Wrong. Literally every single thing was wrong. Now, hopefully you've found some value from these live streams, because this might sound a little cocky, but watch the recordings. Like, you can watch every one of these. I will never delete one, even if I'm wrong. Go back and watch all the last 4 weeks, and 90% of what I said played out exactly like I said. And hopefully that doesn't turn you off and sound cocky. But I'll tell you this. The reason I have these opinions is because the opinions are formed from basically doing the exact opposite of what the mainstream financial media is saying. Like, just do the opposite. Do the opposite of what CNBC says and all of these say. And you'll do really well. Like, never, when they're saying sell, buy. When they're saying buy, sell. Like, do the exact opposite. But the market continue to be extremely bullish. And listen, when I talk about market resilience, here's the deal. I did expect a pullback around the tariffs. Now, because of all the bedwetters and the crybabies and the boomers selling, listen, selling, you got to remember, selling pushes stocks down. If everybody, quote unquote, everybody is selling, then stocks are going to drop. It has nothing to do with the overlying fundamentals, the business, etc. If more people are selling than buying, then the stock price drops. That's how markets work. So if you've got overweighted sellers to buyers, you're going to have a pullback. Now, I'll say this. This is one thing I was wrong on, flat out wrong, and I'll gladly admit I was wrong on this. I expected a much bigger pullback than we got. So I was dead wrong on that. I knew we would be all the way back to where we were. Now, I thought it would take a few months. Like, I thought it would be, and I might have even said this. Does anybody remember? I think I might have said, like, hey, we'll shake this off come like midsummer, late summer. I'm pretty sure I said that. Again, it's all recorded. But what's crazy, where I was wrong, is the dip wasn't near as forceful as I thought. I thought it would be much deeper. And then the recovery was way faster than I expected as well. So I got those two things wrong. I'll admit the things I got wrong as well. I thought the dip would be way bigger than it was. And I thought the bounce would take much longer. And here we are, May 4th, all the way back. I did, okay, Scott, thank you. Scott says I said July, August. Hey, I might be old. Slow, and also dangerous behind the wheel of an automobile. But I do take a ridiculous amount of alpha brain. I'm on a bunch of cognitive supplements as well. I'm on a bunch of peptides, methylene blue. Highly recommend methylene blue, though. I've been on the last couple months. So I did remember that right. So thank you, Scott. So I did say July, August. Okay. So listen, you might not agree with me. You might hate me. I don't know. It's the internet. I'm sure there's some haters in the chat. But one thing I am is honest. One thing I am is consistent. I will always admit my mistakes. And the point I'm making is, thank you. Thank you, Scott. I said July, August. Here we are, May 4th. So again, so I'll move on. But as much as I thought that pullback was going to be more forceful and the bounce take later, here we are. So I'll move on from that. So listen, I got a question. Like to make these interactive. What sector do you guys think is going to lead now that we are back? So, I like to make these interactive, live. I am going to have a producer soon, by the way. I got a producer coming, so I won't have to do all this by myself. But what sector do you guys think is going to lead coming now that we're, all the way back from the tariff pullbacks? Next agenda item, I want to talk a little about PLRZ. So PLRZ is the feature stock of the week. And this one, why isn't my screen sharing? Hold on. See, this is where I need a producer. Oh, wait, here we go. I know how to do it. Share screen. Hold on. I'm a one-man band. There we go. I got it. There, perfect. So want to talk about PLRZ as the kind of number one, well, I would say number one or number two stock into tomorrow morning. What I really love about PLRZ, several things. So on Friday morning, I had to take an early flight back from Florida to get back for the weekend workshop. So I took my nephews to Florida for a late spring break. A lot of you guys know I got these couple little guys. They think I'm the coolest thing ever. It's awesome having nephews. My kids are grown now. And I love kids. So these nephews, they love me. So me and the lovely Mrs. Bohen took them to Florida for a late spring break. I was supposed to fly back Saturday, but we had the weekend workshop. And so I had to take an early flight Friday morning on Frontier, by the way. Oh, it was brutal. Do you know, I couldn't even buy. Now, I normally fly the majors. Okay, I fly business class in the majors. I had to take the flight I could get to get back for the weekend workshop on Friday. So I just frantically looking for a flight. Got like some $200 flight on Frontier. But you can't even buy Wi-Fi. I couldn't even buy Wi-Fi. Like the plane didn't have Wi-Fi. So I'm like getting on. It's like a 7 a.m. flight. And I'm like, okay, I could make some trades this morning. We take off. I fire up my laptop and it's like, no Wi-Fi. I'm like, no Wi-Fi. It's 2025. It's 2025. And I'm like, is the Wi-Fi down? And they're like, no, we don't have Wi-Fi. So anyway, I would have loved to trade PLRZ at the Oracle signal at 9:45, but I was on a flight with no freaking Wi-Fi. It's 2025. Anyway, beautiful 9:45 break on the 62-cent signal on PLRZ. 9:45 has been great all week. And man, we had OMH at 9:45, STSS at 9:45. Listen, nice. Don Whelan says, I'm a boomer and I'm ashamed of most of my peers. I banked about 15K last week. Awesome, Don. You're one of the good ones, Don. You're one of the good ones, Don. So anyway, PLRZ 62-cent signal right at 9:45, ran up to $1.19. Now I landed, got back home with about 5 minutes to go. So those of you that were on the Double Down webinar at noon Eastern on Friday, I got back with like 5 minutes to go, fired up the platform, fired up the webinar, and basically ran the VWAP scan. So the VWAP scan looking for those big gainers that consolidate within a 4% band of VWAP. Then the entry signal in the afternoon on PLRZ was a bust out of that 3% band or 4% band of VWAP at 103. And it was painful waiting. It was painful waiting for this one. But at 4 p.m. went busted through and went to $1.75 in after hours. Now, if you had held from the original Oracle signal at 62 cents, woo, I mean, I'm not saying you would have, but 62 cents to $1.75. But this is what's great about these plays is you can reset, use the VWAP hold pattern in the afternoon, and then just trade that 4% band of VWAP. And when the stocks break out of that band to the upside, they're longs. And when they break the band to the downside, they're also shorts. So what I love about that VWAP hold pattern is you can use it both ways. Like these are big gainers that have started to consolidate through the day. And then basically that 4% band of VWAP is our channel for entries both for the long side and to the short side. And then you use VWAP for the stop loss both ways. Does that make sense? So you buy the breakout of the band, you go long. If the stock breaks the band, you risk VWAP, nice tight stop, falls back, you're out. Vice versa, you short the breakdown of the band, and then you risk VWAP as well. So if the stock pulls, you enter, bounces back to VWAP, you stop out on the short side. So love this pattern both ways. And especially if you're looking to short, use this pattern into the afternoon. Very, very dangerous to short right now. Look for late day faders. Okay, that's the best way to short in this hot market. In the morning, you'll get run over. You'll get smoked. But if you can short the late day faders, that's the way to go. Now, the alert on PLRZ, the trade alert that I sent was 103 breaks. And anyway, it took several hours, but patience paid as it busted to $1.75. Now, what I like about this one for tomorrow is the fact that even though it sold off in after hours, it's still above that support line, that purple line. Now, that purple line is a manual line that I dropped. That's my line that I dropped. That's the support level that from the afternoon, where it based from basically the noon webinar until about 3:30. So what I want you to watch for PLRZ is if it's above 90 cents, now it might gap down and reclaim, but this trade plan that I'm giving you is valid if PLRZ is above 90 cents. Now it might gap down and reclaim, or it may just hold its level as well. Over 90 cents, the plan's in play. Looking for a dollar cross play with risk on that failed support. Okay. So looking at PLRZ, and then the other one I want you to keep an eye on, KWE. So remember, you can get the full watch list at StocksToTrade.com/watch list. Let me get that to you. StocksToTrade.com/watch list, because a lot of people ask about it. And right there it is. Free weekly watch list. So that's in chat. It's 100% free every Sunday. It's already been published. It's already there. But KWE, now why is this significant? That push up in after hours, but puny float on this thing. So if this thing can gap down and retest that 755, basically right where it closed at 8 p.m. So those of you that have the watch list, you know this. But what we're hoping for is a gap down and then a reclaim of 765 or 755 for the continuation of the squeeze. And Tom V says KWE did a private placement in February, has a shelf, they need money. We all know this. Everyone knows that every penny stock, the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking till the offering comes. We all know this. It's all out there. It's not like it's hidden information. We all know that the sand is going through the hourglass. At some point, all of the sand is out of the hourglass and the offering comes. Now, that is also what all the shorts are always banking on. So, if they get stuck on a gap down and a reclaim of 755, I don't care if the offering's coming later in the week, because this thing's going to go freaking bananas with the float. So what I am hoping for is this thing gaps down, sucks them in, because they said the same thing. Oh, they need cash. The offering's coming. Traps them, retests the Friday night high, and then it's a freaking smoke show. It's a smoke show because you look at the float on this thing. Now, here's the alternative. If KWAE gaps down and never breaks 755, rot in hell, crappy penny stock. We don't care about it. With these micro float pending dilution plays, we are specifically targeting the short squeeze. We don't believe in these things. They aren't swing trades. They aren't long-term holds. They're none of that. We're playing the squeeze. So anyway, hopefully I made that clear. So going back, so those are kind of the two from the weekend watch list. Other ones look for, well, just go to the full watch list. Those are the two I'll go over. I'm kind of running long on time. Oh, let me just go over some data for the week and the calendar for the week. So coming up this week, we've got tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. mortgage applications data, 10:30 a.m. the DOE inventory data, or I'm sorry, Wednesday. And then the big one is we got the FOMC rate change meeting on Wednesday at 2 p.m. So now, guess what do you guys think? What do you guys think? You think Jay Powell's going to save his job, or is he going to go down in flames? Because Jay Powell's got an option. Jay Powell. He can cut rates and save his ass, or he can remain unchanging. And speaking of the clock ticking, don't let the door hit you in the ass, Jay Powell. Okay? So what do you guys think? Think he's going to cut, or do you think he's going to leave him unchanged and go visit the glue factory? Because he's headed to the glue factory if he don't cut rates, okay? And keep in mind when I say this, I am not saying that a rate cut is the right decision. Now, kind of let me add some color to this discussion. I'm not saying that right now a rate cut is the right decision. What I'm watching is now the market would love it. The market would love a rate cut, but I don't know if the economy is ready for it yet. I don't know if it's the right decision to cut rates. The market will love it, but what I'm watching for is if Jay Powell wants to save his job or not. Because if he don't cut, the clock's ticking. He's out. It might be a week later, it might be a month later, it might be 2 months later, but he's out the door. He's gone. He's signing. When he decides whether to cut or not, he's signing his pink slip, basically. So anyway, that's 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Definitely something to watch. We'll see. We'll see what they say. We've got jobless claims on Thursday, 8:30 Eastern, continuing claims as well. And then those are kind of the big data points. Pretty light on data because of, the Fed kind of sucks all the air out of the room. So that makes it, kind of the big data point of the week. So little light on data outside of that. Now, definitely be ready. So remember what happens at 2 p.m. and then you got the press conference at 2:30. So be ready at about, 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday, because once the press conference starts is when the move starts to happen. So be ready for that then. Let me get back to my agenda. Oh, pre-market preparation. So we went over the RCT last week, right? Did we go over the RCT last week on here? So the reason I ask is tomorrow morning, 7:30 Eastern, 7:30 a.m., okay? That's how crazy I am. 7:30 a.m., I'm going to do a live trading session, using the RCT. So tomorrow morning, 7:30 Eastern, that's a new algo, okay? So I've got a new algo that actually looks for the RCT so you don't have to do it manually. And the best winner of the week was ZCAR. This algo detected ZCAR, gives entries, exits, stop losses, and goals in pre-market on Thursday before ZCAR doubled. Had an entry at, what was the entry from the algo on ZCAR? I want to say is in the 8s. The entry from the algo on ZCAR in pre-market was in the 8s. And if you remember on Thursday, ZCAR went to 18 after the market opened. So tomorrow morning, 7:30 Eastern, I'll be using the algo together. So be there if you can be there. So that's kind of, I wanted to bring that up so you guys knew. So when it comes to preparing in pre-market, when it comes to identifying the best pattern, we use the red candle theory. Again, someone says I talked about it all last week. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's right. I did kind of an in-depth on the RCT last week. So remember, guys, take advantage of the previous ones as well. So I will be live tomorrow morning, 7:30 Eastern. We got Palantir and Uber earnings this week. And I think I got to everything. So yeah. So again, guys, the market's bullish momentum offers plenty of opportunities. It's essential to trade with discipline and well-defined plan. You know, have a plan, have discipline. Yeah, I'll still be on pre-market prep. So those of you guys asking if I'm on pre-market prep, have I missed a day in 10 years? You know, so I will still be live at 8:30 Eastern as well, and noon Eastern, and 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Mondays are busy. So a lot of people don't realize how much I do. I mean, like, these are all live trading sessions, 7:30, 8:30, 9 a.m., noon, 6 p.m., and 7 p.m. tomorrow, all live, okay? So if you want to be ready for swing trades, day trades, morning trades, afternoon trades, dip and rips, RCTs, week open red to greens, dip and rips, morning panics, VWAP reclaims, VWAP holds, all of them. Like I said, what is that? 7:30, 8:30, 9 a.m., noon, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. 6 webinars tomorrow. I'm doing 6 webinars tomorrow. So anyway, that being said, my friends, let me know, you know, if you're enjoying these, if you found value. You know, we had a little fun. We went over some plays. We went over some patterns. And give me a comment. So I see the chat, the chat comments, but if you would give me a comment on the video as well. What did you like? What didn't you like? I'm sure there was many of you didn't like. Bring on the haters. Let me know. Like, listen, I'm trying to have fun with these and make them as good as I can. And, you know, I'm kind of building the airplane in the air, looking to make these as good as I can. I do have a producer coming. I'm going to continue to up the production value, the preparation. So they're just going to get better. I appreciate you guys being here in the early days, and have a great night, everyone. Futures still down 0.4%. But again, look for that 5670 area for a bounce tomorrow on the S&P. I think we'll pull back to, you know, basically Thursday's level and then bounce off of that. So, all right, guys, have a great day and a great night. And for those of you on the webinars, I'll see you 7:30, 8:30, 9 a.m., noon Eastern, 6 p.m., and 7 p.m. tomorrow. Have a great day, my friends. Where's the end button? I got to get music, dude. I can't find the end button. I got too many monitors. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, guys.